Hi guys, welcome back. So are you all excited? Because I am. This is the fifth game, and after this game we will be getting our initial rating. So let's start it and see what our initial rating is. So start the game, wait for the pairing. We have black, but d4. Alright, so Sicilian is an e4 opening with e4 c5. We cannot really do that with 1d4, so against 1d4, I like playing the Queen's Indian. Okay, so c4 e6, and here there is like you can switch openings from the Queen's Indian to the Nimzo Indian, which is completely alright. So queen to c2. Let's go b6, bishop b7. I think white's gonna play e4 in this position. I think I have seen this position not too long ago. Knight to f3, alright. Bishop b7, now that the knight is pinned, we can actually play knight to e4, but white has played a3, so that we cannot pin it anymore, but we can take it. Now that queen takes, we can just go and attack the queen, which I will do. Because who doesn't like to attack a queen when they get the chance? I don't see any negative consequences, so let's go for it. I think like queen to b4 is not bad, but queen to c2 is probably the best. Here I can castle, but I don't think I'm gonna do that just yet. So let's play d6 and develop our other knight. I think white's plan is gonna be e3, bishop to d3. So my plan is gonna be like knight b d2, and then I mean we can play knight f6 or we can play f5 followed by knight to f6, which would basically transpose into somewhat a Dutch defense, which is a really solid opening. It's d4 f5. It basically has a full kingside attack plan with the fianchetto, the f5 then knight to f6. So let's go knight b d7, bishop d3, and I really do want to go for the Dutch because the attack on the king side is just so powerful. White just leaves the king in the center most of the time. I really want to go for this, but I'm not sure if I'm capable of safeguarding my king at the same time pushing all the pawns and attacking. But it is interesting, just like going for an all-out kingside attack. I mean, the bishop already aims, the knight just has to go to f6, both the knights are there. The queen goes, and it's just like, we move the king over, we bring both the rooks, and like all of our pieces are just in the attack. So I think I think I'll go for it. Because it's not really that bad. And you can't even go knight to g5 to like attack on e6 because the bishop is blocked. So I can just take it. So why not? f5. This is a really common idea in like Queen's Indian type of openings. This is however the Nimzo Indian, and like all these openings are very similar, There are like these are the type of openings where sometimes you just reach a similar middle game in all of these openings. Sometimes, okay. Sometimes players just tend to go h6, a6, g5, b5, and then like you don't get that type of middle games in other games. I mean in most games. So if bishop e4 instead of f e4, I think I would actually go bishop takes e4, and white has castled. So here I really want to go knight to f6, but then there's knight to g5 to worry about. And I do not want to worry about that just yet. So maybe I'll just go h6. And now white might think I'll go g5, queen e7, and long castle. Yes, bishop to b2, planning on a kingside attack. But I think d5 is alright. No, it blocks the bishop actually. But isn't that what happens in a Dutch stonewall? The pawns are just like this. That's called a stonewall position. And then black's bishop is just on b7, completely blocked by both of its pawns. But I don't want to go for that just yet because I will have my knight on f6. Actually, let's put it right now because knight to g5 is not really a threat anymore. Now, even if you do go there and play d5, the problem for you is I just have e5. And guess what? My pawn structure aims like this, so I'll attack in that direction. It's aiming at the king side, I attack. It's actually a rule, not exactly a rule in chess. It's just a lot of people follow this idea where if your pawn structure, such as like in case of d5, e5, my pawns are forming this line, and then it's pointing towards the king side. That's basically an indication that you should attack on that side, since with this pawn here, you actually control some space. So you just have to push these, and then you just have a lot of space on that side, and it's easier to attack. As compared to the other, where most of the time if you have pawns here, the opponent has pawns on the squares in front, that is here. And that means since the opponent's pawn is already here, it's a little hard to push all of these pieces. So yeah, bishop to b2, I don't think your bishop's gonna be really that active or attack much, since if you try to activate, I just block it. Here comes the important part. Do I go g5 starting the all-out attack, or do I wait? That is the big question. I can also just castle and then plan g5 slowly. Castle, king h7, rook g, f8, queen e7, rook a f8. I think I'll go queen to e7, just not telling white which side I'm castling. Because right now, white might think I'm going to long castle, although it's not really clear which side black wants to castle. Black can castle on the king side, continue normally. He can castle, he can also just attack after castling. He can long castle and start an attack. So basically, a long castle would be really good option if you want to do like an attack on the king side. But in this case, with all these pawns coming, I don't think I'll do that. If I short castle, since I'm bringing all my pieces to that side anyway, I think my king will be quite solidly defended. But it will be a problem for me if my attack fails. So that's one thing to worry about. Knight to h4. Okay, you're planning on going to g6 and entering onto one of my weak squares. Okay, so here what I can play is queen to f7, stopping it, and then g5, knight f3, g4, and here knight to d2 is probably the best move. If you go knight h4 again, I have queen to h5, and then like f4 continuing the attack. So I'm basically initiating the attack. Queen to f7 I will play. The remaining moves we'll see about that. Because right now immediately I can play queen to h5, f3 kicking my knight out. Okay, if I play queen to h5 and attack, you have g3, and then I have g5, and then you take on e4. Okay, no, that would be bad because if I get this, this knight is undefended, so you got two minor pieces while I got one. Now in the other case, g5, fe. I'm not going to take immediately. I'll do fe, counter attacking the bishop. Yeah, and then you save your bishop, and I win the knight. That position is alright, I guess. Yeah, material wise, equal. Actually, I have a pawn up, but seeing these two sets of double pawns, the rook pinning my knight, I won't really call that a complete success. So one thing I can do is just retreat my knight to g5 for now. Okay, for now. And then if you play f4, I just go straight back. So that's one thing I can do. And then this knight is stuck, so I just play queen to h5, and then you have to play g3. Yeah. And then, I don't know, maybe I can go f7, g5, g4, and then go back. I will go knight to g5, because I don't want to go into such complicated positions after g5 takes. So I'm playing it a little simple, because if it's too complex, it's very hard to spot tactical ideas. And like, yeah, sometimes just you can't find the right move. A move that looks right could eventually be a blunder and you lose the game. So if you stick to simple positions, it's actually easier to find the best move. So I just stick to simple. Sometimes I go to complex, but not too complex. Okay, so now queen h5, g3, we have knight to h3 check, which is really interesting idea. King, wait a second. Why are we going knight to h3 when we can just take on f3 check? If knight takes, bishop takes, the queen is still defending, mind you. The queen is there on h5. So queen h5 is not a bad idea. If you play g3, you lose upon here. If you don't play g3, you're hanging a knight. I mean, you could play queen to f2. Yeah, queen to f2 is possible. And then what can I do? I need to somehow... No, I don't think that works. I mean, yeah. Ooh, okay, after queen to f2, if I somehow make you push the g-pawn, or pin the g-pawn, or like get rid of the g-pawn completely, I have knight to h3 check, winning the queen. So I need to focus on that right now. Queen h5, queen to f2. Yeah, bishop f3 doesn't work because of knight f3. Now if bishop f3, gf3 happened, then yeah, that would be successful. But currently the knight on h4 can take. So that does not work. Okay. Rook to c1 maybe planning an attack. Now another thing we could do is just f4 and try to attack. Not immediately, mind you, because that results in bishop g6. And not soon, because I need to either long castle or castle. Then I can play that. So queen to h5. Like we planned. Now if f4, then sure, I'll take on h4 since that's not really complicated. After fg, we just have queen takes g5 and we are up a pawn. Not bad position. So here, is there anything we get after knight to h3, opening up the king? I mean, queen to g5 check, king h1, we do not get much. Actually, we don't get anything. So I don't think e5 works because you just hang a pawn. d5 doesn't work because we just hang another pawn on c7. And e5 also hangs the f5 pawn. f4 just hangs the queen. Yeah, it's a little hard to make progress in this position. We could try like knight to f7, g5. So that looks like the only option we have. Is that literally our only option? Because knight to f7, g5, knight takes f5 is probably white's only option. And then e f5, bishop f5, we cannot long castle, so we are stuck short castling, which is not really a bad idea. So short, I guess. It also stops any of these ideas which give check. So knight to f7 isn't really that bad. Yeah, sure, knight to f7. Now we are doing g5. g3 is probably the only way to go, making the g2 square available. d5, our knight is attacked by that bishop. So let's go e5. Actually, wait. If we go e5, we lose a pawn on f5. And then if knight takes f5, it's threatening g7. And we can't castle because knight to e7 check. So what do we do in this position? We cannot play e5. But if we don't play e5, you just take on f6. I think we can let white take on f6, because after take, we have rook to g8 and attack. Not bad. So we can like let this be open, but we cannot lose that pawn. So we just play g5 right now. Like literally right now. I lose a pawn, you lose a knight, I lose a knight. I don't even know, I think after g5 I just lose this knight. And then if I take your knight, I just lose the rook. So yeah, that's one thing to consider. Our knight on f6 is stuck. And kind of undefended. We can just do take, knight takes, I guess. But that doesn't solve the problem of the f5 pawn. So what can we do in this situation? Well, for one thing, we can play knight to e5. Yeah, and then if take, that's not really a huge problem. But we still need to defend that. So how about g6? But we still lose the e6 pawn. So no, g6 we still lose the knight. Why is it so hard to hold on to one pawn? Do I literally just castle? Is that my only option right now? Like castle, then takes, knight e5. Okay, and then you just you take with the bishop. Then what, knight? No, knight e4 doesn't work. So e5, we just lose that pawn. Yeah. Then after that, maybe rook to g8. No, takes, and then takes. Okay, we're a little low on time right now. So g5 doesn't work. Yeah. ed. What should I do? ed5. Knight f5. Take. Cancel and then take. Okay, so knight e5, bishop e5, d e5, d e6, short castle, bishop takes f5, e4. Yeah, I just don't know what else to do. I literally have no other idea what to do. We're down to 4 minutes, which is very less time. We need to start playing faster. This is why you do a lot of puzzles, so that you can like improve your calculation speed. Although the main thing that increases calculation speed is actually playing more games. But if you just play one game after the other, like for the entire day, I mean you can do that, but like if you are like a very good player, then yeah, that helps you. But if you're like not really that good of a player, that doesn't help a lot. I mean, yeah, you can improve calculation, but after that you need to analyze the game. After that, you can know what's the blunder you made, and like that helps you improve. So our opponent is thinking a lot. Okay, I was thinking I can attack, but it seems I have delayed it too much. And right now, perhaps my opponent is the one attacking me, but there seems no target. He's just attacking my entire position. Maybe it's the center. No, look at all these pieces. Maybe it's the king side. No, look at the rook, these pawns. You just don't know where the attack is. One moment, all the pieces are aiming here with the knight. Okay, bishop to e2, not bad. f4 is the idea where our queen is attacked. But I'm really surprised our opponent did not take on e5. Yeah, this is probably good for us. If we play g5, our opponent can play f4. And then we can play knight e or f, knight. Yeah, knight f, g4. Counterattacking the queen. So, just listen, g5, f4. Yeah, and then we play knight f, g4. Okay. And if we go there, then this is pretty much dead. So maybe castle is the way to go. Castling is probably the best move here. Let's short castle. Okay, we have just taken a big risk short castling because I mean I know I said before in this opening you usually short castle and like while doing the attack you just short castle, but I did not mean delaying this attack so much and short castling so late. This is very late. I should have done this at least 5 moves ago. Actually, I should have done this way more earlier. But I just played the wrong moves. Like for instance, queen e7, f7, h5. Instead, I could have just done e7, castle, g5. That would have been a lot better. Not, but you get what I'm saying. I was just playing with the same piece so many times when I could have just done so many moves to start the attack. But we still can win this game, so concentrate on that. This our enemy, the enemy knight is kind of stuck pretty much. Opponent queen attacked. I like it. So the queen has literally 3 squares to go, and you have to choose out of 3, like 3. Now queen to f3. Oh, I just realized you cannot go to f3 because your h4 knight hangs. Not really hangs because our knight is also like trapped. So queen g3 and queen to e1 are both options. Our opponent queen to e1, but the e3 pawn hangs. But we can't really take it because our queen is knight is pinned. So I think I'll go queen to f7, but not right. Okay, no. I was thinking maybe take, adding the bishop, but I realized the rook would just take on c7 and come inside. Attack with the bishop combined and like threats on g7 coming. So I'll just leave that there and let you take. Queen to f7, and if takes, our queen takes, and we're still defending f5. So we're not hanging it. Knight to g6 is still a headache though. And then we have h3 to worry about. Okay, so we have a lot of things to worry about. So let's try to calculate. Okay, queen to f7, de, queen e, knight to g6. Knight to g6. Then what can we play? Rook e8. Yeah, perhaps rook e8 is the way to go. Actually, what if I just go queen to e8 and if takes, I just like take on e3. Yeah, I like that idea. Oh, except oh no, it defends f5 as well. Wow. So here's the thing: if takes, we take. We're also attacking the rook and defending on f5. Rook f3 will okay, no, you can't go rook f3 because that bishop is attacking on f3, and they're also attacking g2. So you practically need to play rook f2 in both ways. You defend g2 and also because that's the only place the rook can go to. Now after that, yeah, I think I'll just put this knight there and just collect the rook, and like I just win the game. I don't think you can do this queen to h5 takes, but I think the knight hangs as well. So I would be winning that position as well. So at the end, do not take. At least just trade off this knight and then you can take. I'll just trade off this knight. So here's the thing: our opponent has 2 bishops. We have 2 knights. 1 knight, 1 bishop. Our opponent has the so-called double bishop advantage, but I don't really believe in something like that. Bishop is equal to a knight. Some say bishop is 3.5, while knight is 3. I disagree. Because if you go to the end game, it really matters on the position. That's the case for like everything. It matters on the position, whether a knight is better on the or the bishop. Now, our knight is attacked. Well, not attacked, more like pinned. Because we move it, it's checkmate. Okay, is that all? Is that like the only threat in the position that white is doing? One solution, ED, CD. I know we're letting him go on C7, but listen, okay? Material is equal so far. We can take on E3 with a check, forcing a trade of queens. So take, chop, chop. Or if you don't take and you just move your king thinking you're nonchalant, I just take your bishop. And then if you take, I take, your rook is attacked, you save the rook, and then... Yeah, I kind of like that position. Let's go for it. And then I can just take this, your rook is attacked, and then I just take this and I defend on C7. And the position is all good. Actually, I think I'll just put this knight here. I like that knight there. I don't want this trade off. And the f5 pawn needs protection from both the knight and the rook. So yeah. So white really needs to defend e3, but also needs to recapture. Now, as for what I think white is going to play, I mean, if takes, I take, and that's still a threat. So even if you still just do this, you move and then I just take that. And this time the pawn is still defended by the rook, and then knight to g6. Now knight to g6, I just play rook to e8 and attack the bishop. If you do not take, that is. If you do take, I'm just taking over the open file. Nothing's attacking on f5. I just play king to h7, kicking out the knight. And then, okay, you just take that now. Interesting. You're stopping us from taking on e3, but I guess I can take. No, I will not take on c4. Can I play d4? No, I don't want to play d4. It doesn't look that nice. Okay, what if I try attacking the knight? You can defend it. But I can just block. Okay, no, I'm going to actually play queen e6. Queen e6. Yeah, sure. Attack the knight. Now cd5, we're actually just threatening the knight right now. So our opponent can play knight to d4, knight to g3, and knight to h4, and also like bishop to d3, bishop takes g4, a lot of moves basically. I think e4 is also an option, but we just have de4. De4, queen e4. Yeah, I think queen e4 is better. Perhaps not. I think I'll just go with the de4. Okay. If we take, that's mate. Little annoying detail right there. So what do we do now? Our time's running out. I guess I just go sit on f7 and just down a piece. Oh my god, how did I miss that? There's checkmate threatened and I just cannot take back. How did I miss that? Oh my god. Should I just play h5? No, knight to h6 check and I lose the queen anyway. That's not how it works. So it's okay, we had a comeback before, except that was in the end game. But it's okay, I think we can still do this. We can still do this. So the knight is on f5 still. We still can win it back. Okay. And I have a plan in mind already. Yes, this is a really nice plan. It will work. h5. Kicking out the bishop if it goes to h3. I don't know if it will work or not. Probably not, but I don't think he'll go to h3. We'll see about that. So h5 bishop moves. I'm thinking he'll go to e2, but it could go like there or there. But basically the main plan is knight to e4, attacking the queen, so that your queen gets off this. Oh wait, no, you can just take. Yeah, I'm not liking this position a lot. I do not like my position. What do I do now? Do I just do DC? I'll just push, I guess. What else can I do? Just attack the queen or whatever. And I'll probably take. And then, yeah, this position is like terrible. But I do not lose hope just yet. The game is not over. So, what's the plan right now? I bring this rook to the center. You're threatening mate, but my queen is there, so I can't do anything. You go to d4. Okay, also, that's also a good move. I just activate this rook finally. All my pieces are active, but that's only after I just lost a piece. I do not want to go for a kingside attack. I do not think it'll succeed. Especially, I mean, it could, but this bishop is seriously limiting how many pieces I can bring to the attack. And then this thing, bro, that is so annoying. I cannot go queen to g6. I cannot go king to h7 because this just pins both. I mean, I can play both and that'll be alright, but I don't want to trade off queens. So what can I play here? Knight c5. What's the point? Attack b3. He just play b4. Then what? Then I go back. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna help him just push a pawn like that. I need to attack somehow. So d5 doesn't work. cd. Queen h5 because there's no real checkmate threat. Sure, I guess. It doesn't really do much. Now you can just play rook to d5, in which case I play rook to f5, and then you just bring the other rook to d1, and then I just play knight to f6. Actually, no, not knight f6. Then bishop just takes on f6, and then I have to do g takes, and then my king side opens, and then that's bad. While doing a king side attack, opening up the king is okay if those very pawns, like, I can push these pawns and open up the king if they're gonna do an attack, but okay, what can I play here? Queen f5 doesn't work. Fine, knight c5 and then like knight to e6. This is tense. I have like so less time. I'm down in material. My position isn't really that nice. Why do you keep saying that? I mean, this pawn structure is solid. This is somewhat solid. Now I just attack. But right now, if you do that, I cannot play rook f5 because this queen also attacks. Back then, the knight was on e4, so I could, but now I can't. Oh, and back then, knight of 6 wouldn't have worked again because I hang. So, let's see. What can I play here? Queen to g4. Huh. Queen g4 h3, I guess. Wait, no, queen g4 h3. I don't see anything, so maybe queen to f7. Just bring it back again. Now, if you move this knight, I mean, you can't really come forward. You can go to h4 and d4. d4 means I just have to trade off forced. h4 means you can just drop in here on g6, weak square. So, what? I just take, and then I see what you take back with. Perhaps the pawn. I mean, if you take with the pawn, I'll be happy. I'll be really happy, but I don't think that's happening. But if you do take with the pawn, I would probably play like rook e6 with, okay, I think that's a free pawn. I really hope it actually was a free pawn and not a trap. Now I'm down a knight, I mean a bishop, and like the pawns are all equal. So here I'll probably just try to make a battery like this. 20 seconds versus 50 seconds. Okay, our opponent is slowly losing time. Me, I'm somehow managing somewhat. Battery, rook e2, winning the bishop. We're threatening to win back our material. Okay, it could become equal right now. And did it? Perhaps. Although I need to see if my rook gets trapped when I take on b2. I personally, I don't think so. I think I can take. I'm taking. I'm come back. Now f6, yeah, that's one thing to worry about. So g6, queen to g3. Yeah, g6, king h7. I think after king h7 we're safe. I am so nervous right now. Such less time. So much calculation. So if you attack, I just play king h7. If you start like attacking on h6, I just play h5. That's those 2 pawns will defend each other. The queen is defending this. I play king h7, defend that. I can even play rook to g8 later. But not immediately. I have to save this rook and bring it back. And I'll just go king h7. I don't really care that it's pinned. h4, h5, rook g5, king h6. I don't really care. Do I take? I don't want to take. But I think I'll just take. I have to take. I don't want to take. Wait, what if I just bring a rook to e6? I cannot take on f6 because it's... Fine, take. Bring a rook here. That rook is just there. I'll just bring it here and take this, I guess. Or I bring it there and go there. Something. I'll figure it out. Here, attack that. If h5 attacks, so like, yeah. Multi-purpose, I can also just put this rook on f8 and like trade. Okay, that's a free pawn. But did I just lose control of the e file for one pawn? Do I fight for the control? I mean, if I just put my rook on f5, I can take, and then rook e7. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I do? What do I do? This is so tense. Takes, I move. You give a check, I move, and then you take, I fight. Just as I thought, I defend. Now g5, king g6. g5 also stops rook c f4. 28 seconds. I have a little time to think, but if rook to c1, I think that would be a little too much for me to fight back. Actually, no, if you go there, I can just play rook e f5, attacking that more. And if you take on c7, I just take on f6. And I have an extra pawn. Whoa, I just went from a knight, like a minor piece down, to a pawn up. Crazy stuff happening here. Now the next one, I'll just take on d5. Yes. And yeah, if you go there, I again fight for the control. Take, take. Yeah, just... You attack that, I take. You attack that, I play g5, king moves and take. Yeah. I'm 2 pawns up. Whoa. One more pawn, and I went from 3 points down to 3 points up. Crazy. Ooh. I'm so on my nerves right now. Okay, rook c, c1. What do I play? I like bring this here and put it on e6. Here, one thing you might do is just put one rook on the e file. I go there, and if you go there, I play g5, attacking the rook, and I put my king on g6, and I'm winning the 3rd pawn. I could be +3 right now. Bro, I am literally +3 in this position. -3 to +3. What? What? You take one pawn, I give a check, and I take the other. Well, perhaps if you take this, I'll just take that, and then if you take that, I just take check, and I just push. Crazy. Check. Take. Like I said, 3 pawns of h5. And just like that, we got our initial rating of 1916. Whoa, this is even crazier than the other game where we went from completely losing to completely winning. I mean, that was the end game, completely losing to completely winning positions, where it's like -5 to like +5 or something. But now we went from down a minor piece in the middle game, which is completely losing. That would probably be completely losing. But in the end game, losing position, there are drawing chances. If our opponent makes a slight mistake, middle game, not that many chances. But how? I'm pretty sure at one point it was -4 for me. Material, I'm saying. And then, yeah, see, white literally at +5, +5, and then it just went down to -4. I think it went to okay -4.99. Sadly, no brilliant moves, but okay, bro. Okay, okay, not wow, 8 book moves is crazy. I just went out of like theory here. I guess you call it that. Okay, yeah, h6 is kind of bad. Just castle g4, because anyway you cannot go there because of the queen. Your bishop is not there. So just castle g4 I mean g5 h5. Just straight up attack. No need for h6 g5 h5. That's kind of slow. Just g5 h5. That's faster. b3 was not really good. Just, white should mainly attack in the center. This was a mistake. I should have castled, but no. Here also white had to attack the center. Here again I should have castled. White, this was okay move. This was a mistake. I should have played rook to g8 in order to power the g5 move in order to get off the fork and to help in the kingside attack. Oopsie, where were we? Here, right? Yeah. f3, that's a good move. Knight to g5. Okay, all of these were good moves. Great move, and then this was a mistake. So just castle here again. Most of the, yeah, I told you guys, I delayed castling so much. And that got me into trouble. This here, yeah, exactly. I told you guys while the game was going on, I was surprised why white didn't take the knight. And then this was slight inaccuracy. Should have brought the queen back. Here again, takes was better, but alright. I blocked the attack, and then I just should have played g5, attacking the knight, attacking f4, attacking the king side, but I missed that. Here, bishop d3, like on this file, so that like the knight can threaten this too, and maybe e4 is also in the air somewhere. This was a big blunder because I just lost this. I did not see that. Yeah, I should have gone there. I was actually in the game. I was trying to decide queen e6 or queen e4, and then I just decided wrong. So yeah, and then all good, but it's losing, so it doesn't matter if I play a good move or not. I just have to wait for my opponent to blunder. Here's what a lot of people get wrong. They're like, why didn't you win this position? It's losing. Why didn't you at least try? You can try, but you cannot draw or win unless your opponent makes a mistake. That's literally how chess works. You cannot win a game unless your opponent makes a mistake. This was a blunder. It allowed me to get my piece back. And from here, yeah, this was slight inaccuracy. Should have gone queen to e6, merging with the battery. And also because if it takes, I can just bring my rook back, but short. I didn't really find that. It's a slight inaccuracy anyway. And then like, mistake should have traded. Yeah, mistake should have taken. Wait, what? Okay, I did not see this, but actually here, what white could have done is just take an f7. And then, yeah, it would continue like this. But of course, this is alright. And then after this, I just go there, and then you go there, and then... Yeah, here I would get out, and then you would take. I would probably just take, and then it would continue like that. But my opponent did not find the move, and played a4, and then like... Yeah, slight inaccuracies here and there. This was a mistake. Should have gone to f5, guaranteeing the pawn. Here I allowed him to fight back. Again, the takes an f7 idea. Here, this was completely winning. So, that was a really fun game. We went from completely losing, it was like +5, and we went to completely winning, it became -4. That was very intense. So if you guys like this, make sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video, where we will be like actually doing the rating clamp. We got our initial rating, time for the rating clamp. See you there.